Hello and welcome to Follow Me Friday, everyone. I have completed my 100-day journey, my 100-day challenge of MMJ. What does MMJ stand for? Movement, meditation, and journaling. Hello, if you haven't met me already, my name is Madhavi. I am the owner and Chief Motivating Officer of Prana Health Yoga and Wellness. I have been working on a challenge, and I've done this before. I believe I did it during 2020, during the COVID when we were locked down, and I needed something to do to keep myself going. And I've done this before, and I've journaled about it on social media. The first time I did it, I journaled every day. This time I didn't journal every day on social media. So I took that journaling practice and I journaled after I moved and after I meditated. So the top 5 things that I learned this time from this 100-day journey / challenge, here I wrote them down, are accountability to myself. I was accountable to show up to myself, getting downstairs, doing my morning walk. So during my 100-day journey, I chose to walk on the treadmill because it's still dark 100. The time hasn't changed during this time. I started this in November. So it was dark outside and it was cold, so I would be on the treadmill, and I learned to be accountable to myself because nobody was waiting for me down there to get onto the treadmill and walk and then to meditate and to journal, but myself. I set this challenge up for myself. And why? Why was I accountable to myself and not even reaching out to somebody else asking to be accountable, someone to check in with? Because we as people need to show up for ourselves first. Because if we can't show up for ourselves first, how can anybody else in the world trust us to show up for them? If we can't show up and take care of ourselves first, how can we trust ourselves or someone else trust us to show up for them when they need us most? Accountability to myself. Yes, there was mornings that I got up with my alarm set at dark 100 that I just didn't feel like waking up. And I really wanted to hit snooze. And let me lie, I'm not going to lie. I have hit snooze before. And I would lie there and then the conversation would start in my head. Come on, girl, you got to do this. You said you're going to do this. The why. Why am I going to do this? I want to feel good. Why am I doing this? I want to prove to myself that I can show up to myself. I can be that person that can show up for themselves. So when I hit the snooze button, there would be times that conversation was going through my head, and guess what? I couldn't sleep then. My mind was already going. So I would get up, I would do my thing. And it got to the point about maybe day 75, took a long time, that I stopped really thinking about it. It just became, I wasn't even like worried about it. This is what I do. This is what I do to set up myself for success, to be accountable to myself. The second thing I learned, it was setting my day up for success. It actually created how I was going to move through the day, manage. Was I going to feel flustered? Was I going to be in a bad mood? What did I want to feel? I wanted to feel good. I want to feel good every day that I wake up in the morning. I want to feel free in my body. I want to feel flexible. I want my mind to be clear. I want to set myself up for success, especially on days that I know that my calendar has no white space in it. And that's another episode to come about no white space in the calendar, by the way. When I know that I have things stacked, it's going to be a busy day. Rather than worrying about it, I walked, I meditated, and I journaled, unpacked it through this practice. And then I was able to move through each thing that came along on my calendar that day with ease. So I was setting the tone of my day. That was the second thing that I learned. And I would set it to where everything would run smooth, because everything works out in the end the way it's supposed to work out. The next thing I worked out, I started to notice that I have now a clear and focused mindset. My mind was clear. I was able to make decisions easily. I wasn't feeling exhausted from decision fatigue. because I was able to think clearly and make good decisions. And I was even actually able to say no sometimes, knowing that I had no capacity in that day when I was busy with no white space in my calendar box. The third thing I learned, or the fourth thing I learned, was the journaling part. The fourth thing was the journaling part. Journaling was the hardest part for me to do, which was why I added it to my 100-day challenge / journey. When I went on a yoga retreat, we were doing a lot of journaling. I bought a special journal for the journaling practice. And I was like, I don't know about this journaling. What is this, And when we were on the retreat, we were given prompts sometimes, and sometimes we were just asked to write just the stream of consciousness. And journaling is where you take your pen to paper, and I'm not talking about typing it on the computer or typing it on your phone. Pen to paper. There is science that backs up pen to paper. It increases your memory, the flow of conscious thoughts, just writing. When you're doing that, there's no grammar, there's no punctuation. Don't worry about run-on sentences. You just write the stream of consciousness. You just write. Write whatever's coming out. I learned through this practice, through this 100 days, which, by the way, I'm still doing. I learned through this practice that I was unpacking all that junk that was stuck in my head onto the paper. And when I was unpacking it, not only was I unpacking it, I was solving problems that I wasn't able to figure out in my head. For example, if someone if I gave you a math problem to do, an algebra problem or something, I was like, hey, solve this problem for me. What would you ask me? Can I have a pen and paper? And I say, oh, and you can't use a calculator. You'll say, can I have a pen and paper? Why do you need a pen and paper? Why can't you start to solve it in your head? Because that's what we do. We use a calculator or we use a pen and paper. That's how we solve a problem. So all the stuff, the junk that I was unpacking out of my head that was packed in my subconscious mind flowed onto the paper. I actually started reasoning, figuring things out, and feeling more open and freer. When some problems came up that I didn't know how to deal with it, maybe it was a conversation, or maybe it was a conversation with somebody else, or maybe a conversation that I was having to myself, limiting beliefs, who knows, whatever it was, I was able to unpack it on paper. And then I would come out of the journaling practice with an aha moment practically every day. It was crazy. And I feel so much lighter and freer because I solved the problem on the pen and paper. The last thing that I learned is that I actually had more energy and I have been more productive. More energy and more productive. My blood is moving in the morning with the movement. I'm meditating and just bubbling up all the junk from my subconscious mind. I'm allowing it to float up. And then the journaling, it floats up out of here and onto the paper. My mind was clear. My body felt amazing. I have more energy throughout the day. And I'm more productive. I'm doing the things that I want to do and not wasting time scrolling or just sitting and trying to figure out what I want to do, what needs to be done next. I knew what I wanted to do. I would get the things that served me. And the biggest bonus is I've been having more time to read. I love to read. I read all kinds of books. I nonfiction, historical fiction, self-help, yoga books, health and wellness coaching books, educational. I read everything. I'm always wanting to learn more and read. I've had time to read. Game changer. It's because all of a sudden I have all this space in my life because I have more energy. I'm not suffering from decision fatigue. I am more productive. I'm saying no and choosing the things that serve me in my life because I'm able to think through these things. Now, this protectorial practice, the MMJ, movement, meditation, and journaling, is my personal practice. I wanted to share all of this with you, these things that I learned through this 100-day journey / challenge, which, by the way, like I said earlier, I have decided to continue it. I'm not looking for the fruition of this practice. I'm enjoying the journey. That's why I called it the 100-day journey. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the present moment, because what I do today in this present moment is going to create my tomorrow, or the next minute, or the next hour. What we do in the present moment creates our future. So rather than worrying about what's going to happen in the future, or rather than worrying about what I've already done in the past, I learned my lessons from the past, what did work and what didn't work. I'm not going to fear what's going to happen there, if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. I'm going to worry about what's happening right now. I move, I meditate, and I journal. Move to get the blood flowing, meditate to get the thoughts from the subconscious mind to bubble up, and journal to take that unpacking and put it on paper and solve the problem. So that's all I have for you today, guys. If you would like to learn more, you can check out the link below. Check out my website, join one of my yoga classes, do a free discovery call with me. Find out if I would be the right fit for you for private yoga, coaching, or even group yoga. Let me know in the comments below. You know, I love to hear from you. Have a wonderful Friday, a great weekend, and think about your present moment and what journey you would like to appreciate today. Until next time, bye for now.